Not very often does it happen that when you read a book, you're completely taken over by it and you cannot stop thinking about it. Well, that is exactly what happened when I finished reading this book, The Liberation of Sita by Volga. This is a very short retelling of Ramayana from Sita's point of view, where she is the center of her universe, and alongside stories of Ahalya, Renuka Devi, Urmila, and Suparnaka is narrated. In this book, they recreate a world of freedom where they not only willingly bear the responsibility of their own survival, but also have a sense of joy and complete freedom. In Volga's world, they are the questers of their own salvation. This fictional retelling is written in such a way that you feel very much connected to the narrator. Also, all these stories have such powerful messages for you, the reader, that you definitely must consider reading this book. For example, Ahalya said, "There is no truth and untruth. Truth does not remain the same forever but keeps changing continuously. This is the wisdom I earned." Suparnaka said, "I struggled a lot to grasp that there is no difference between beauty and ugliness in nature. I observed many living creatures and understood the moment and stillness are one and the same. I discovered the secrets of colors. I had no guru in this matter. I pursued it on my own. I searched every particle in nature. And in the course of that search, my own vision has changed. Everything began to look beautiful in my eyes. I, who hated everything, including myself, began to love everything, including myself." Ahalya taught me and forced me to think about what exactly truth is. Who is to decide what is true and what is not? Who has the authority? Somebody? Nobody? Who? According to Ahalya, the core issue is not that of female fidelity or the lack of it, but of man's power to put it to test. Don't grieve over what has already happened. It is all for your own good. And it is a part of the process of self realization. Be happy. Observe the nature and the evolution of life. Notice the continual changes in them. You belong to this whole world and not just to someone. Renuka Devi taught me and empowered me to think beyond relations. Who am I individually? Not somebody's daughter, not somebody's sister, but who am I? Urmila's wisdom was brilliant. It is funny how we never really thought about it. I mean, just give this a thought. Like, if you think that it is stupid, then be stupid for 2 minutes and give it a thought. Jealousy, hatred, love, respect. What's the real difference between these feelings? Is there any difference at all, or are they merely shades of the same feeling? She saw how love, hate, jealousy, and respect are but shades of the same condition, dependence on others. She struggled with all these and arrived at a state of inner peace. She tells you to stop asking yourself unnecessary questions because it is going to take you nowhere. Quote, "I've come to tell you not to torture yourself with unnecessary questions, to secure you for yourself. Fight, meditate, look within until you find the truth that is you." And Suparnaka, who was absolutely absorbed in her beauty, how did she come out of the pain after she suffered mutation? She taught me to look beyond physical appearances. Quote, "I have realized that the meaning of success for a woman does not lie in her relationship with men." Above everything, this 85 pages of novella taught me to forgive. Like, I am so moved from the inside after reading this book that I cannot ask you enough to go and read it. By the end of the book, Rama is seen to be sad by the responsibility that he has inherited the throne. And he is in no less pain, like, no one is to be blamed. He is seen that he has cherished 13 years of his punishment as a good thing because he was away from all his kingdom responsibility and was able to enjoy his time with Sita. He dreaded that the woman that he loved had to go through so much of pain and disrespect because of his inherited responsibility and the society. He said the burden of protecting Arya Dharma finally robbed him of all his happiness in his life. There was no liberation for him. I had tears in my eyes while I was reading this book, and I cannot emphasize enough how important read this is. Go read it, understand it, think about it, because the book will make you think for yourself. It is hardly 2 hours read, some 85 pages long. It won't take much of your time, and it is a brilliant read. Totally worth your time. That's it. Read it. That's all I can say because it's one of the best Indian mythology book which I have ever read. I will be back with many more bookish videos soon. Until then, keep reading.